Alright, hello everyone, welcome back, it's Bugs, and today I am bringing you guys a story time video, and I haven't done this in the longest time, and I do apologize for that. It's just the fact that I didn't really know what to talk about, but this one, or this particular story did pop into my head, and I just want to talk about it. But before I get into the video, I do want to let you guys know I'm versing against bots. My Xbox Live ran out the day the DLC came out, sadly, but there's nothing I could do. I'm broke, you know. This story isn't really funny, it's actually kind of serious, and it's something that I can never forget. It was really tragic, and it kind of scarred me for like life, and this is why I'm like really cautious of my cousin. So basically, it was a time I saved a life, and this happened when I was in 8th grade, so a while back ago. And at the time, this happened to my baby cousin Safir, and she at the time was at least 3 or 4. I don't really remember, but she was around that age. So I was in 8th grade, and there's 2 bus stops that I could get off of. There's one that's a little bit farther away, and then there's one that's closer. And the one that's farther away, it's next to a corner store, and that's the bus stop that I usually get off of because I like getting my goodies, I like getting some snacks and whatever else that I need. But this day, I decided not to take that bus stop. So I'm walking to my house. Just, I don't know, it felt weird because that day it was 9/11, which makes the whole day a lot worse. So it happened on 9/11, and it was already a crappy day because obviously 9/11 is a really tragic day. So I'm walking down my house, and I knew that something just felt weird. So like something just felt off for some reason. And at the time, my baby cousin would be at my house because her mom and her dad would be at work, so she would get dropped off at my house. So I was really excited to see her, even though it was a crappy day, but something just felt like completely off. I got home, and my grandma's usually sitting on the porch, you know, doing her little sewing and all that stuff. And I asked her where my baby cousin was because usually I like checking up on her to make sure like she's okay and that I say hi, and if she's sleeping, you know, I'll just let her be. She said that she was sleeping, but I just kind of wanted to check up on her. Usually, like, when she's sleeping, I would, like, go over to her and, like, give her, like, a little kiss and then just leave. But when she said she was sleeping, I was gonna go to where she was sleeping. She was sleeping on my grandma's bed. So I walked into my grandma's room, and I see her, and then my grandpa's sitting on this chair that's kind of across from the bed, but you can't really see her face. You just kind of see her sleeping. But my grandpa was sitting there, and I'm like, okay, that's whatever. So I went up to her, and her eyes were literally open. I've never seen eyes so wide in my whole entire life. Her eyes were freaking huge. And I'm like, what? Like my grandma said that she was sleeping. I'm like, hey Safir, like literally she is the love of my life. Like nobody can replace her. So I'm like, hey Safir, and it was strange because when she sees me, she gets so happy, like a smile gets on her face. She literally hugs me, and she's like all happy and stuff. And this time, she literally had no response, and I'm like, this is so weird. So I'm like, Safir, and I kept saying her name repeatedly, like Safir, like hello, can you hear me? And she couldn't say anything, she couldn't move. Her eyes were literally just open, and she would blink occasionally, but like she still had no response. And then when I looked at her, she had so much like slobber on like the side of her face, right? And it was completely weird because I understand like when you sleep you drool, but when I lifted her up, the whole entire pillow, like the whole pillow was soaked in complete saliva. And I didn't know what it was at the time because I'm not a nurse, like I don't know anything about this stuff. So I'm like, this is like really weird, and I knew it wasn't okay, like obviously it was bad. So my grandma, she's not listening. Like I told my grandma that like something's wrong and stuff, and she came into the room, and my grandma picked her up to like clean herself up and stuff. But literally she couldn't move by herself. She wouldn't get up. We had to pick her up. And when you picked her up, and if you didn't hold her head, she was just gonna fall. She was gonna go straight down. I literally was so shocked, and I didn't know what to do. I was just really scared at that time. I was really scared. So I knew her parents were at work, but I called her dad, and I called both her parents, and I told her that something's wrong. We're gonna call the ambulance to come get her, because obviously it's something that we cannot control, and she needs help. We told him what we should do, and he said to call the ambulance, and we did. I think either my brother or my grandpa was gonna go in the ambulance with her, but her parents came just in time. So her mom came right in time before they left. Which I am glad for, because you need your parents when they're going through certain things. Before they kind of left, I was standing behind the truck, or behind the ambulance. You know how they have like the doors open in the back and stuff? And I'm just looking at her because like she was sitting in this like seat. What the hell? So she was sitting in the seat, and I'm like looking at her, and just the fact that she just couldn't say anything or just couldn't do anything really like got me so like it really broke my heart. And when I was looking at her, she had like this oxygen thing, and then at that point in time, like as soon as she got into the ambulance, she just like started twitching, like seriously twitching. And I'm like, dude, like this is so sad. Like I was like really like about to like break down in tears. So like you know they closed the doors, and then she left. But once they left, I literally went straight to my room, and I'm just thinking, I'm like literally staring at literally completely nothing. And I'm just like, wow. And while I was thinking, I'm like, what if I stopped to go to that corner store? She probably wouldn't have been alive because my grandpa was sitting on the chair, right? But he couldn't see her face. So it wasn't his fault because he couldn't see anything. If I just took longer than I did, maybe there could have been serious damage. I don't know what happens when that kind of stuff happens. But then a couple hours later, you know, they called me, said everything was fine, and they said that she had a seizure. I didn't really know how to react because at that time I didn't know what a seizure was, but obviously I know what a seizure is now. She was just a little baby, and I felt like when something bad happens like that, I feel like if you kind of wait long enough, serious damage could actually be done. So I'm happy that I actually went straight home and I'm happy that I checked up on her, because if I didn't check up on her, because most people like think that if somebody's sleeping, ignore them, kind of just wait till they wake up. But like if I didn't check up on her, then it's like who knows what would have happened. But I'm happy that it worked out well, and I'm happy that everything that I did leading up to that I was calm, somewhat calm. I wasn't like screaming or panicking because I knew that I had to put her first. Alright guys, that is it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys liked it, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it a lot. And also let me know in the comment section down below if you ever dealt with something like this, whether it was like a loss or a death, or if you saved someone's life, etc, etc. So let me know in the comment section. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, and goodbye.